Okay, so welcome back. So this is the last session of today, and in the previous session Geditsthagela already talked about one of the writing type, that is descriptive writing. So in this session I am going to tell you about narrative writing. Okay, so I hope it's not too much for today. Okay, so I'll not be discussing all the aspects of narrative writing today because we have sessions for tomorrow as well. Okay, narrative, as I discussed in my previous session today when I introduced different types of writing, if you remember, it's something that narrates, tells a story, right? So narrative writing, narrative, narrate, narration. So if you remember, good. So what actually is a narrative writing? So a glimpse of that I have already shown you in my previous session, what actually is a narrative writing. So in this session I am going to just give you a little more detail about narrative writing. Okay, so first we will look at the slide. What is a narrative? Means what is a narrative writing? Okay, a narrative means a narrative writing here. Okay, it is a type of writing in which the author tells a story. Okay, the story could be a fact or fiction. Okay, so you already learned about what is a fiction and what is a non-fiction. So narrative can be in the form of fiction, okay, and can be in the form of non-fiction as well, when you tell a true story, okay, a true account of yourself, a sort of experience that you had, okay, an incident that happened with you. So the story could be a fact, that is a non-fiction, or fiction. So it is a series of events told through narration. That's why I told you earlier that in narrative writing you have a beginning, you have a middle and an ending. Okay, and in narration what you need to remember is all the things that you are going to tell, okay, should be in sequence in a way. The events should fold naturally one by one. Okay, so a series of events told through narration, you are narrating that. Okay, you are retelling what happened. So narratives can be broadly classified as fictional and non-fictional. Okay, fictional narratives deal with something that is out of your imagination. You can tell a story which is not a fact but out of your imagination in the form of a narrative writing. You can narrate an incident which is not real, which has not happened. It's all fictional, out of your imagination. You can do that. So narrative can be fictional and non-fictional. Non-fictional means this is based on fact. If you are telling a story, it's something that has happened to you. If you are sharing an experience, it's something that has happened to you. It's not out of imagination. Okay, it's not something that is make believe. Okay, it's real. So narratives can be, yes, fictional as well as non-fictional. Okay, fictional and non-fictional. Will you remember that? Good. So today I am going to discuss with you personal narrative. Okay, again now see here narrative is used as a noun. Okay, it's not narrative writing, it's narrative here is used as a noun, and personal is the adjective here. Personal narrative means a narrative that has got to do something with yourself, right? Okay, something that is very personal. Okay, personal narrative, it is a type of writing, means it's a type of narrative writing in which you write about an event, incident or experience that has personally happened to you. If you recount or retell an event that you had experienced, okay, what you are doing is you are doing a personal narrative. You are writing a personal narrative, or if you are sharing this with someone, okay, orally, you are just sharing. Okay, so a sort of, yes, personal narrative. Okay, it's a type of personal narrative. And what actually is a personal narrative? It's a story about a moment or event in your life. It's not the whole story of your life, okay? It's just a moment. It's a story about an event in your life. The event might be very important, or it might be something you want to share with the readers, okay? So, so it's a story about a moment in your life, moment or event in your life. And what you need to remember is, in personal narratives, we make use of pronouns like I, me, my, because this is about yourself, and it is usually written in the first person. Okay, it's not a third person narrating what happened to you, because this is personal narrative. Because narrative writing can be written in the third form as well, when someone is sharing or writing about someone else. Then it doesn't become personal narrative, though it is a narrative. Okay, you are narrating something, but you are not the person who had experienced that. So in personal narrative, you are the person who is narrating. The incident has happened to you, right? And so you have to write in the first form using I, me, my. So throughout the writing, you are the character in that event, in the story. So you are using this sort of pronoun. I saw this, or okay, me, and then my. So all these sort of pronouns have to be used in personal narrative, okay, and they are written in third form, sorry, first form, okay, in the first person. So it has a beginning, middle, and an ending, like all narratives, okay, has to have a beginning, middle, and an ending. And it presents events in a clear order, okay. You cannot mention or event in a haphazard way. So it has to be in a clear order, one by one, okay. How the event happened, you have to narrate accordingly, okay. Does that make sense? Okay, a little more about personal narrative. It uses specific details to help readers see people, places, and events. So even in personal narrative, you use your descriptive skill, okay, like Gideon Sargella told you about descriptive writing, because even in personal narrative, you need to add some specific details, and that is a part of descriptive writing, because these are important, because you want the readers to imagine, okay, and you want the readers to see through your eyes, okay, what actually happened. So you have to give specific details, otherwise your readers won't be able to imagine what happened with you. They won't be able to kind of imagine the story that you are telling. They won't be able to, in a way, connect with the experience you are sharing with them. Therefore, it is very important that you make use of specific details, right? Sorry. And personal narrative shows how the writer feels about the experience, and this is very important, because that experience might be important, that's why you are sharing. It has something to do with you, and therefore you make sure when you are writing a personal narrative, you have to make the readers understand how you felt, okay. Your feelings become very important, okay. It presents events in a clear order, like I told you earlier. So all the events have to be in clear order. Look at the slide. Well, I just need a little bit of water. So it presents events in clear order, and it uses transition words to connect the events, because in narrative writing, the events have to be told or narrated in sequence, in order. And how does this happen? When you use transition word to connect the events from one to another. Okay, do you remember In our previous lessons, we told you about transitional words, how you can connect. Okay, I remember in my session on essay writing, I told you how to connect one paragraph with the other by using transitional words. So the same goes here. Okay, in narrative writing also you need to connect the events by using transition word. That's why it becomes very important, because without using transition words, the events will not look connected. Okay, so the connection is very important because all the things have to be in clear order. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, okay. So if you can quickly look at all the, in a way, characteristic traits of a personal narrative, I'm just going to replay the slides so that you just understand and just keep the things in your mind before I give you an example. Okay. Okay. So it is a type of writing in which you write about an event, incident or experience that has personally happened to you. The first thing you need to remember is has to be personal. Okay, something that has personally happened to you. Clear? Event, incident or experience that has personally happened to you. This is one point you need to remember. Then what you need to remember is it is a personal narrative is a story about a moment or event in your life, right? Then what you need to remember is it is written in the first person using I, me, my, okay, because it's a personal narrative. Clear? Then what you need to remember is you need to remember that there should be a beginning, middle and an ending. And what you need to remember is all the events should be presented in a clear order. Okay, you should not confuse the readers. Okay. Then what else you need to remember? Specific details. Okay, you have to make the readers see the people, places and events discussed in your writing. Okay, so you have to help them see, and for that what you need to use is you need to use specific details, and you have to express through your writing how you feel about the experience. Okay, has the experience got some sort of influence on you, any impact on you, how you feel about the experience? Your feelings become very important here. And again, it's reiterated in a way, events in clear order and use of transition words, okay, to connect the events. Okay, so point wise, are you able to remember the transition words? Clear? Think of all the points about personal narrative. Okay, all the things that you need to remember so that your narrative writing becomes a personal narrative. Okay, now look at the next slide, which recounts and retells one of the incident or one of my personal experience. Okay, and this is something I shared with you in one of the lesson on the application of writing process, if you remember. We started from yesterday night and we tried to follow all the writing process, and then gradually we did the revising part, we edited, we proofread, and finally we had the final piece of write-up, and we changed the topic as well from yesterday night to a dark, stormy night. So I'm using the same thing with little bit of improvement as per the need of a narrative writing, personal narrative, I mean. Okay, the same thing, because I just thought you would be able to connect with what you have already seen earlier. We in a way together built that piece of writing when we were trying to apply the writing process taught by Gideon Thargela. Do you remember that? Okay, now we will read the piece of writing, the personal narrative. Okay, because this is something happened to me personally. Okay, so I have tried to make use of specific details to help you look through my eyes, okay, what I actually experienced that night, okay. And usually, so in this paragraph, the introductory paragraph, here I have tried to use onomatopoeia, a kind of a sound effect here, in order to catch your attention in a way. Drum! Okay, you can see that exclamation mark is here. This is the sound. Okay, drum. It was around 10 p.m. when I heard the sound of thunder. So here I have tried to make use of the sound of thunder. Okay, a kind of literary device or figure of speech here, onomatopoeia anyway. Drum. It was around 10 p.m. when I heard the sound of thunder, followed by the sound of window panes breaking. Crash. Okay. So what happens is, when I write in this way, you will be able to imagine what is actually happening. And you can see I have used I when I heard, because I am the one who is narrating. Okay, this is a piece of personal narrative. The sound of window panes breaking, crash. I ran out of my room to see. There was a huge storm, and I could see the branches of the trees bending and shaking vigorously. So what happens here? I could see the branches of the trees. The readers will be able to imagine, okay, in what way the trees are shaking. They are bending and they are vigorously shaking. Okay. So I have used, instead of adjective, I have used an adverb. Okay. Shaking. In order to describe this verb, I am using adverb, okay, shaking vigorously, so that you can imagine they are not just shaking but vigorously shaking. It's very strong, right? I saw my husband trying to park his scooty somewhere else. Okay. Why are you moving the scooty? I asked him. Because in narrative, okay, in personal narrative or narrative writing, so sometimes it's very important to make use of dialogues. Okay, so that the readers can understand the character. Okay, you can see the character speaking, so you can imagine in a way. So I have deliberately made use of a dialogue here. Okay, why are you moving the scooty? I asked him. The windstorm had pushed the scooty and it was lying flat on the ground where I parked it earlier, he replied. So here he is my husband and I am the one asking the question. So the readers can imagine the two characters having conversation. Okay, the two characters talking to each other. Up to here, is it clear? Good. The scooty had been hit by the strong wind. Now this is my part of line. Okay, oh, so this is what I am telling the reader. So because after the conversation with my husband, I learned that, oh, the scooty had been hit by the strong wind. Poor scooty. Again, I am just trying to make use of a figure of speech. Okay, trying to make it a sort of have the scooty having some sort of feeling in a way. Okay, so that you can connect what I felt during that time. Okay. Next, move on to the next slide. It was raining too. And under the flash of lightning, I could see my husband getting drenched. But I was too scared to go out to help with an umbrella. So this is a long sentence, right? So what you can relate. So you can think about the types of sentences that we have learned. Okay. So you can just in a way try to figure out, oh, what type of sentence is this? Okay, what type of sentence have I used? So it was raining too. The reader can imagine rain, right? And under the flash of lightning, you can immediately in a way figure out, oh, this lightning also, because it's dark, because there was lightning, that's why I was able to see my husband getting drenched. Why? It was raining, so he was getting drenched, all wet, right? Because of the rain. But I was too scared to go out to help with an umbrella, because I saw my husband getting drenched. I should have gone there with an umbrella, but now my feelings here. I was too scared to go there. Okay, and then my justification for that as well. Even if I had taken an umbrella, it would have been definitely blown away by the storm because it was so strong. Okay, the windstorm was strong enough and an umbrella wouldn't have helped. Is it clear? So the readers can very well imagine what was going on, isn't it? The storm like a devil. Okay, here I am not using any kind of transition word because it's a kind of going through the same, even this is the middle part. Okay, the storm like a devil. So what figure of speech have I used here? Because specific details. So even in this narrative writing, in this personal narrative, I am using descriptive skill. Okay, the storm like a devil. I am comparing the storm as if the storm is an animate thing, okay, having life. The storm like a devil. I am comparing storm to a devil using like. So this is a simile. The storm like a devil from hell, okay, was so hard on the things lying outside the staff quarters. So you can imagine where this incident is happening. Okay, hard on the things lying outside the staff quarters. It smashed them here and there. So you can imagine how hard it was on the things outside. Smashed them here and there. But we somehow managed to pick up our clothes kept outside for drying. The readers could imagine we had kept our clothes outside for drying, and so we could immediately, in a way, we managed to pick all those clothes up. Okay. We could also close the windows safely, otherwise the window panes would have been broken. So we were able to do that. Now I am using a sort of transitional phrase here, okay, a kind of, all of a sudden, I am now trying to connect what happened earlier to the next part. All of a sudden, there was power outage and my daughter was even more frightened. So even more frightened suggests that she was already very frightened. Now because of the power outage, she got more frightened. Okay. It grew darker except for the flash of lightning. That means now since there is power outage, it's totally dark. Since the weather is also stormy, it's very dark outside, inside as well as outside. But then except for the flash of lightning, now you can imagine the light that's from the lightning, the flash of lightning only makes things visible, otherwise it's all dark. We were scared and kept talking about what might happen. So this is inside our room. Okay, we kept talking now what would happen. Will the branches of the trees break down? Will the tree break down, blocking our way? What else might happen? So we were in a way scared. Okay. So this is the middle part and now the concluding part, the final part. So I am using the transition word here, finally. Okay, so that the readers get the idea, oh, now I am at the concluding part of the narration. Okay, finally, when we settled down again to sleep, it was already 11 p.m. Okay, I am just giving you vivid detail, the time also. Okay, so it nearly took around 1 hour. It started around 10 p.m. and now when we finally settled to bed, it's 11 p.m. Okay, in my bed, I kept thinking. So the readers can imagine me lying on my bed thinking. Okay, in my bed, I kept thinking of the people living in slum areas inside their tent house. So these are the things, the thoughts going on in my mind. I could very well imagine how hard the stormy night must have been for them. Okay, so this is my feelings. I am just expressing, I am just sharing with the readers how I felt or how I was feeling at that point of time. I prayed for them and felt myself blessed and lucky enough to be living in a proper house, because our house wouldn't be blown away by the wind, isn't it? So I also told my daughter to feel that way. So this is important. Why I am narrating this incident is because the feeling generated during this event, that is very important. The sense of gratitude, okay, the sense of contentment in a way of being able to stay in a proper house. Because sometimes in our life we take things for granted, isn't it? We don't feel the sense of gratitude for what we have. So such type of things, such incidents in a way invoke in us such feelings, and that's why this incident becomes very important in my life, and so I'm sharing this. Okay, so you remember like why I'm telling this, because almost all the people living in this area in Dharamsala recently, we had encountered that situation, isn't it? But this is my personal narrative because it recounts and retells what I was going through, my personal experience. Okay, what that incident had in a way taught me. Because like my daughter was so scared, I told her, okay, see, we are living in a proper house. And even then we are scared. Think about those people who are living in tent house. What might have happened to them? So what happens is when we understand, we think about the situation of other person having like living in a condition, okay, that is not like us. We often in a way complain, keep complaining, I don't have this. We don't think of those who don't have, who are living really a poor life, right? So such incident in a way teach us these things. We need to be satisfied with what we have. And so at such incident, like sometimes it happens, right? I think you can very easily resonate with that. When there is power outage, all of a sudden it's completely dark. I imagine like the blind people who cannot see. Even for a short period of time when we are not able to see things, how do we feel? Isn't it? How is the feeling? Now, at such times, all the time when this power outage, when this dark, please imagine, think about the plight of those blind people who cannot see throughout the day. See, for them, day and night both same, isn't it? They are not able to see. So we should be lucky. We should be feeling grateful to ourselves in a way. So we should be feeling blessed that at least we can see things. Okay. So such things in life, such incidents or miseries in life always teach us something. Okay. We teach us to respect and value the thing that we have. So that incident in a way taught or made me realize, and in a way I told my daughter to think about that, think about those people, and then you feel your pain in a way subsides, right? The fear in you kind of subsides and you start thinking about those people. You start having a sort of soft corner for them, okay, a sort of feeling for them, isn't it? That's why that incident became very important for me, and so I'm just sharing it. Okay. So, oh sorry, look at the slide. Okay, so I prayed for them and felt myself blessed and lucky enough to be living in a proper house. I also told my daughter to feel that way. The storm continued to blow hard along with the growling thunder. So you can just imagine, the readers can imagine that there was still storm, right, blowing, and with the growling thunder, you can imagine thunder as a person who's just growling, okay, with the growling thunder until I fell asleep. That means I'm just trying to sleep. So we cannot say that the thunder stopped, okay, the thunder and windstorm stopped after I slept, but since I fall asleep, I don't know how long it continued. That's why I've written with the growling thunder until I fell asleep, okay. And it was indeed a dark and stormy night, and I was really scared. So the final concluding part in a way tells my personal feelings, the impact that incident had on me, okay, and this is about narrative writing. So I have tried to connect the events in order, okay. I have tried to make use of dialogue as well, okay. And in like, if you remember the points I told you to remember, what's there in a personal narrative, you write in the first person, right? So in this I have made use of I, me, my. So I am the character. I am just telling, I am narrating the whole incident, isn't it? And I have made use of specific details so that you can imagine, you can see through my eyes, okay, the whole thing that's happening around the staff quarter, okay, the time, okay, and how hard it was, So everything in detail. And then I have tried to connect the event. I have tried to place the event in order from the time when it started and the time I went to bed and I fall asleep. Okay. So all the events in order. Okay, what else? Okay, specific details we have, all the things in order. Okay, and it's a kind of story. Okay, not the whole story of my life, but story of an event, story of an incident that happened personally with me. Okay, so I try to keep a beginning for my story, for my incident, the experience that I shared with you, right? And then there was a middle part and the concluding part. Okay, ending, beginning, middle, and ending. So this was all there. This is just to help you get an idea about how a personal narrative may look like. Okay, so since this is the last session of the day, I'm not going to keep it very long. Okay, and you must be already very tired with all, like 3 sessions already you have in a way watched, I think. So the 4th session, so I think it's 31 minutes. Okay, and tomorrow Gedin Sargila and I will continue with descriptive and narrative writing. So other aspects of descriptive writing and narrative writing. Okay, so see you tomorrow. All the best. Take care.